This is Tampa. This is my home, full of hidden treasures and a vast culinary culture. Our rich history leads to an even brighter future. We'll talk to locals who know the ropes, find the flavor of the city, and explore Tampa's remarkable past. Downtown Tampa is truly a treasure worth discovering. Join us as we stroll along the river and go behind the scenes at Tampa's Museum of Art. And then, did you know Tampa is home to Florida's oldest restaurant? Join us as we go to the Columbia Cafe. Then we'll wind things down at the Sail Pavilion. You won't want to miss it on ¿Qué pasa, Tampa? I'm so excited this morning. I am here with Todd Smith, the Executive Director of the Tampa Museum of Art, and I am just in awe exploring these beautiful paintings of Cuba.
Well, let's just start off the bat by saying welcome. It's great to have you and all your viewers here in the museum. These are actually photographs though, which it is surprising how many people make that mistake, because you look at them, the richness of them, the texture, the way they pull you in, you can swear that they're paintings because of that. Absolutely,
and they're absolutely beautiful. And the title, Faded Elegance.
Faded Elegance. These are works by Michael Eastman, who's a St. Louis-based photographer, and he's gone to Cuba on several occasions, 4 actually, since the latter part of the last century. And he chronicles domestic spaces. So he looks at how people live in these grand homes and how they make sense of these grand homes that have been around for 80, 100, 150 years. So they're just these beautiful interiors, but there's a sense of activity that's inside of each of these that I think that's what pulls people in.
Yeah, each of them tell a story.
They tell a rich story, and he doesn't give you all the answers though. He makes you sort of dig deep, look at all the clues inside of them, but also they're almost as if they're film stills. Like, there's a story that takes place before and a story that takes place after, and you're just given that little split-second moment.
And some of them, you see the deterioration, you still see the beauty.
Right.
And the hope.
Yes. And he has done images of other world capitals in similar sort of states. Meaning,
oh, really?
So it's not just about Havana, but it's about a bigger conversation about changing spaces.
I know that this particular piece, or this exhibit that you have here, is very special, but it's not the only Hispanic one that you have at the time, right?
No, and in fact, this is one of 2 shows we have on view this summer that are celebrating the 20th and 21st century arts of Cuba and also of Mexico and Mexican-American artists. So this exhibition looks at Cuba, but the other show, which is over 100 works from the Bank of America collection of Mexican and Mexican-American artists, and it's called Miradas.
Oh, wow. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Sure. This takes as its beginning the art that came after the Mexican Revolution, so early part of the 20th century, and it chronicles over all these developments that took place with artists who were working in Mexico, or artists who traveled to Mexico, or Mexican artists that then came to the United States. So it's this rich tapestry of what happened in the visual world that was inspired by either living in Mexico or traveling to it or coming from it.
Okay, Todd, I can't help but ask this question. So now we have 2 Hispanic-themed exhibits, right, and Hispanic Heritage Season coming up. On purpose?
We will take that. We will take the serendipity as planning. But in fact, it is just this wonderful occurrence that these shows both end on the day that launches Hispanic Heritage Month here in Tampa. So we're very excited that on the last day of these 2 exhibitions, which is September 15th, will actually be free to the public as a way of celebrating the museum summer, but also celebrating the Hispanic heritage here throughout the region.
How exciting. Thank you. So it's free, open to the public, but I understand you're going to have people coming through this beautiful museum, but there's going to be a lot of other things going on that day too, right?
A lot of activities. We're finalizing all the details, so check back to our website, like us on Facebook. You'll find out all the details as we finish up and wrap up the plans for it.
Now, these traveling exhibits are just one, but you have the permanent collections here as well.
We do, and we specialize in 2 areas. One is Greek and Roman antiquities, and the second is contemporary photography. So we collect in those areas, and then the other we fill in with traveling exhibitions from around the world. So we've been able to bring art from Europe, now from South and Central America, and throughout the world to Tampa as we look at the history of 20th and 21st century art.
You know, I'm glad you said history because this actual building is new,
Brand new.
beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
But the Museum of Art is nothing new to Tampa.
No, and in fact, we were in a building across the park. Currently, we're in Curtis Hickson Waterfront Park, and our original building was just across the park, and that was opened in 1979. And before that, there were several entities that came together to celebrate the visual arts in Tampa, but then came together to form the museum in '79 and opened the building in '79. So this building, though, as you said, is brand new. We opened 3 years ago. And it's won many major international design awards, which we're very happy about. And you know, quite honestly, I think it represents the beginning of a 21st century architecture movement here in Tampa. That architecture that can be experimental and bold.
Yeah, and this building itself is just a piece of art. It's beautiful.
It is. And if you've ever been here at night and you've seen the LED light installation on the front of our building, you know that we also activate the outside. So when we were opening the building, we wanted to have a work of public art that was visible to everyone for free. So we installed LED lights on the front of the building and commissioned an artist from New York to come in and create this amazing light display that happens every night on the building.
Yes, and I hear it's the largest public art display. Is that correct?
It's 14,000 square feet. So we think it is, if not the largest, one of the largest, at least throughout the region, maybe the state, maybe the Southeast. We're not sure, but it's big.
Yeah,
it's big and impressive.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, and the lighting outside of this building together with the bridges is just breathtaking.
Yes. Yeah, and it does make Tampa a city of lights.
Yes, and the piece of property that you're on, this park, and the minarets behind you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, and the reason, we get so much energy from the park, and I think we give so much energy back to the park. So there's activity going on throughout the year in the park with us, with the Children's Museum next door, that really, thanks to the vision of the city leaders to make this the region, sort of downtown's living room, that we can come, we can play, we can learn, we can enjoy, we can be with others, we can eat and drink and play with our dogs and get our children educated, all those things that make a city a city.
Yes, and now that you said getting the children educated, so rumor has it there's a Saturday event that takes place here.
We do. We give quite a bit, we think we give quite a bit back to the community, and one of the programs we do every Saturday morning is called Art Spot. And it runs Saturday morning through early Saturday afternoon. And it's for any family to come in with children, and it's hands-on art activities that relate to the exhibitions on view. So it's free, no reservations required, just show up. You and your kids can have a great time making art, thinking about art, being in a great space like this.
Oh, how awesome is that? And I know you also have events here Friday evenings?
We do every Friday night as well. We do a pay what you will admission. So from 4 to 8 every Friday night, you can come to the front desk and you can tell them, I'd like to come in for free, and we'll let you in for free, or I'd like to contribute something, or I'd like to pay even more than general admission because I believe in what this institution does. So and we see about a third of our visitors each year during that 4-hour period, because it allows people to experiment and come to the museum. If they're not comfortable with the idea of a museum, they come in, they check us out, and they'll come back.
Absolutely, they'll come back one time and they're hooked, right?
Yes, that's what we hope.
Tell me a little bit about your school tours, your adult tours. I mean, you really make an effort to bring everyone into the museum.
And we try to do it at the level of people's interest and their background. So we often will ask, what do you know about art? So people are not feeling intimidated as they come through. But we do offer free public school tours for all Hillsborough County public students. We also offer bus transportation grants. So, we try to remove every barrier possible to get students into the museum to experience what we do. And we also offer adult tours led by our volunteer docents. And those we just ask, if you've got a group of 10 or more, you call 2 weeks in advance to our main number, and so we can set up the tour for you.
Yeah, and then after they can dine downstairs, visit your shop.
Visit the shop.
Oh, I know, and there's things that you just only find here.
Right, I mean, museum shops have become the place to go to in any city for that unique gift.
Yeah, that says Tampa, great city that we are. And I know that you also rent the facility out, so for weddings, for different events.
And we've become one of the premier venues, and it's now getting a little competitive among the brides-to-be, because what's great is everyone wants to do it here, but the minute one bride does it, then her 3 best friends who are getting married can't do it here. So we sort of almost run our, we do very well with weddings and with corporate events. And it's just, when you're in the space at night and you see how we can transform it, it becomes a real gem.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Yeah.
It is absolutely a gem. And, your vision says you want to pique the curiosity, but not only do you pique it, you make that opportunity available to everyone.
Right. And we're always looking at ourselves as well to say, what can we do better and differently? And that's part of the great excitement about working in an art museum, is you get to be around creative people and celebrate that creativity.
That is so much fun, and
Yeah.
I just can't thank you enough for taking the time to
thank you.
share this with me. And can you give me a little secret? It'll be our secret. What's coming up next when this exhibit leaves?
Well, in early October, we launch our fall exhibitions, and we've not announced them yet.
But worth coming.
Worth coming back for.
Good.
Indeed.
All right, well, my pleasure. Thank you
Pleasure.
so
Thank
much,
you.
Todd.
Good.
Richard, I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your busy day to be with me here.
Always nice to be with you.
Let me tell you, I have got to ask you, I've been wanting to ask you for the longest time. You took a huge risk opening up here years ago on the waterfront.
Yes.
What made you do that?
I promised my father, I think it was 1987, when the committee was starting to first try to raise money for the History Center, he said, son, in case I'm not here, you have to promise me that you'll be involved and put a Columbia Cafe in there, because the history of Tampa is so important and the Columbia is part of that history. So he wanted to have a taste. So that's why we're here.
Well, listen, the Columbia Cafe, if I understand well, was actually the name of the cafe in Ybor.
It was originally the Columbia Saloon in 1903.
Oh, wow. Wow.
My great-grandfather was a general manager of a brewery that opened the Columbia Saloon. And in 1905, he saved the money and he bought it. So it was the Columbia Cafe. A lot more history.
So listen, the vision, I guess, it runs in the veins, right? In the Gondomar
Listen,
veins.
I live
to
and
see-
breathe this, and when it came time, I'd save chairs from the first air-conditioned dining room in the city of Tampa, the Don Quixote. The chairs we're sitting on are from 1935.
Boy, I hope this one holds up for me.
We've had to tighten them up. So Babe Ruth and Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio sat in that room. So one of these chairs
Wow.
might have been one of the chairs they sat on. I like to think so.
So see, in a few years from now, you can say Adrian Colina sat in one of these
Yes.
chairs. There you go. Tell me a little bit about the menu, because this menu is not the same as the one in Ybor.
Back in 1905, the menu was much more simple than what it is today. When I started at the Columbia, it was 32 pages. Well, I wanted to go back to the way it was in the nice, good old days. The people that would go to the Columbia Cafe at the turn of the century were cigar workers, 24 hours a day, walking to work and back home and grabbing something to eat, maybe a Cuban bread. But it might have been a Cuban mixto, a mixed sandwich. The famous Cuban sandwich.
Okay.
That
so-
originated in Tampa.
That's right, that's right. And that has a story of its own, too.
It's a great story. When people say that a Cuban sandwich doesn't have a salami, I said, well, it's because this is a Tampa sandwich. And they said, well, Cuban sandwich in Cuba, there's no such thing. Every sandwich is a Cuban sandwich. I remember visiting Cuba in 1958 as a little boy. I was 5 years old and trying to understand that, because I used to get the mixed sandwich. It was made in the window at the Columbia. And the Cuban sandwich represents the Spanish, the Cubans, the Jews that came in, and the Italians. That's where the salami comes from. And the original salami always had peppercorn. And I took a year to find that. But I wanted to reinvent the sandwich that my grandfather used to make in 1941. I had the recipe. So this is the exact portions that he called for.
And here in the History Center, so we have the historic sandwich, but we also have some other things here that you just don't find everywhere.
Well, the 1905 salad is trademarked and nobody can use that name. And I've had people that put it on their menus, but they change the recipe. I said, if you want to use it, we'll give you permission, but you have to follow our recipe and give us credit. It was named one of the top 10 salads to make a meal out of by USA Today. So we're really honored to have that.
And I know why. It is my favorite.
And then unique, though, is the Miranda crab croquette, the double crab croquette. There was a gentleman named Miranda riding his bicycle through Ybor City, selling the double crabs. He'd go to Palmetto Beach and get the blue crabs and pick the meat. As a little boy, I can remember going with my mom looking for that guy and having those double crabs because the Columbia didn't make them. So this is unique to us, and we're trying to follow that recipe to the best. And the empanada de ropa vieja and the empanada de pollo, my mom used to make those, my grandmother. So we're talking about history, and we're talking about something that had to be unique. So when I see these items, I go back to when I was a child and trying to preserve that and know that my mom, my father, and my grandparents are here with us.
Absolutely. I mean, you're sharing history here. And the croqueta de jaiba, I remember as a little girl going crabbing. I know you probably did that here
Me too. There were crabs everywhere, and the crab enchilada, which I think is a Tampa.
It definitely is a Tampa thing.
Even these plates are a recreation of the Columbia Cafe plates that we had. It's the same logo that we used at the turn of the century. We found a few. And
How beautiful.
yeah, so this is the only restaurant here, and at the airport we have a Columbia Cafe at the Delta Terminal. So this is unique. This goes back to those places from the turn of the century.
And actually, I hear the bar is a replica of the Ybor one as well.
You know, people, we did the same thing at the airport, and when people came here, they said, "Oh, you moved the bar from the Colombian Ybor." No, but what we did do was make molds of the crowns and the molding of the columns there. So it's really it's a feeling and flavor, and they did a great job. And we're one of only 15 restaurants in the entire United States that are 100 years and older, still entirely owned by the family. So I'm really proud.
Oh, and you should be. And let me tell you, I hear, and I know this is true, the Columbia is Florida's oldest restaurant.
Florida's oldest restaurant.
Right here in Tampa.
Hey, everybody has confirmed it. Nobody wants to believe it. They said somebody in the Panhandle's older. You know, there were older restaurants. They just didn't continue.
Yeah.
You know, so when you look, there's only 15 in the whole United States 100 years and older.
Well, the Columbia is clearly run, you know, with love and from the heart.
It's what I live to do, and to try to teach the next generation. My daughters were involved. My brother has a son involved. But we're teaching the 6th generation now.
Man, who would have thought, right?
I wonder, what would Casimiro Hernandez Sr. have thought? Would he realize that Tampa would be what it is today, and that the Columbia would be flourishing? I don't think so.
I know.
I would.
It's amazing, and you know, I know your Tampa is your home, but Tampa is in your heart, and you show it. Tell me a little bit about the Community Harvest event.
Columbia Community Harvest was developed as a way to say thank you to those who have supported us, and to be able to give back to the organizations that need our help. And every year we receive requests from groups, and we review it. I think Tampa has about 21 charitable organizations. So when you, the guests, come to visit and have dinner or lunch at any Columbia, each ballot's different in the community, you check off where you want, and I will donate 5% back to that group. There's no catches. It doesn't cost you a penny. We don't sell your name. It's just I want my people that come to visit us to understand what we do and to help us select who we should donate. We've donated, I think it's over $1.3 million to over 140 charities.
Wow,
and this
that's
year,
the whole month of September, right?
The whole month of September, from the 1st through the end. And this year I'm hoping to make it a record. I'm hoping to make it about a $180,000 donation, because that's what my grandfather told me. During tough times, you have to help those more that need help. So that's a way to just say thank you and to give back.
Oh.
It really means a lot. You see how in each of the communities where we have Columbias, how they appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I can tell you, and I know you're a runner. I know you're a runner. You've run with bulls and then all kind of crazy stuff, Richard. But sometimes I run right past this cafe, and I know I'm looking forward to Richard's Run for Life.
Well, Richard's Run for Life started because I wanted to find a way to help fund adolescent young adult sarcoma, cancer in children, the number 2 cause of cancer in children. That wasn't being funded because I was told that pharmaceutical companies says there's no return on investment. I mean, what are you talking about? The best return is giving a child a life, a chance to live. They haven't lived life. Leukemia was the number 1 cause when I was a child, 100% chance you're gonna die. And today there's a 92.8% survival, which is good.
Oh.
But you know, it's not good enough because a dear friend of mine lost a 4-year-old daughter to it. And so you know, my passion is I'm committing the rest of my life to help find a cure for cancer. And I run the marathons, run 17 marathons. I give the medals to children that are really fighting. There's much more than running a marathon. And so I hope it gives people with cancer a hope. And if you're not a runner, you just come and register. We have pie, we have 1905 salad, we have ribs, we have Moe's tacos. The entry fee is worth just coming to eat. We have Michelob Ultra beer, we have Chateau Ste. Michelle wines, and it's a fun family event though for all.
Oh, listen, I've been there and I'm looking forward to it, and it's a beautiful evening run in Ybor. Music, it's just a great time.
I've got friends that run and are great runners, and they come from all around the state. They say it's their best, most fun race of the year.
It really, really is. And I'm a runner. My husband is not.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you, he's done it and he's recruiting people. Come on, you have to come. It's just a great time and a great event.
It's an event that if you come out, you can walk it. Many families just walk, and there's a shortcut too. and if you don't want to run, I'll mist you down so you look like you ran. I always say you don't have to. I can make you look like you ran, and we'll give you a good time too.
And you know, it's just for a great cause. I mean, so it's just so worth it.
And if I tell you the stories, how we saved a young girl, Jocelyn Collins, Rosenberg, who age 9, they were going to amputate her arm in Iowa, and we flew her down to Tampa, and the first surgery of its kind was performed here at Tampa's Moffitt. They removed her shoulder and elbow and put chrome pieces, and her arm is titanium, and through magnetics they extend it. I was with her 3 days after the surgery. She's moving her fingers, took her arm in the sling, and 6 weeks later she's playing the piano. 2 years later she's doing cartwheels. That's what this run is doing.
Oh my God,
and 100% of every dollar that donated goes directly to Moffitt. Doesn't go to administration, goes strictly to the research.
So definitely making a difference. And this year we got to pass 2,000 runners, right? That's the goal?
But the city says we got to stay around that number.
Be our secret. Be our secret.
Listen, we use that Cuban math and counting.
And so they could just go on, anyone can go on the Columbia restaurant site for information?
And we have a Richards Run for Life website, and the Columbia will have a new website going on. We'll have where you can sign up. It's just the most fun you can have, coming out with the music, and if you're a really good runner, the prize is going to be that you're going to get a paella pan as a prize, with your first place, second, or third place.
Well, I know I won't be first, second, or third, but I won't be last. But I will be there.
but you'll be a winner and helping others win.
And I'm so looking forward to it. Well, I'll let you get back to your busy schedule. Thank you so much, Richard.
Thank you, Adrian. Nice to be with you always.
So I'm walking along the beautiful Riverwalk, and I see a treasure worth discovering. Tampa Convention Center, and I'm here with Eric Blanc, the Sales and Marketing Director from the Convention Center. Thank you, Eric, for being with me today.
Well, thank you, Adrian, and thank you for that plug, treasure worth discovering, I gotta tell you.
Oh my God, it so is. And the Sail Pavilion, tell me a little bit about the Sail Pavilion.
Well, you know, the Sail Pavilion is one of our treasures. It's actually the anchor for the Riverwalk. It's a 360-degree waterfront bar, I might add, the only one in Tampa. With waterfront access, we've got boat docks for our weekend boaters to come along, and they can dock right in front of the bar, get out, come have a drink, enjoy the sunset. One of the best places in Tampa to actually watch the sunset. And you've got wildlife that's out in the water, and daily drink specials. The opportunities are endless.
Yes, and it's so accessible. I mean, you have people that run up, walk up, boat up, park. It's just open to everyone here.
Yeah, it is. One of the fun things about being at the convention center is we are on the Riverwalk, and if you actually look at an overhead map, we're kind of in the center of what is the Riverwalk now. So one of the things that we have always looked to do is really be part of the fabric of the community. And this Sail Pavilion is our effort at doing that. It originally started as an opportunity for us to provide another venue for our convention goers, but what it has turned into is a local watering hole. Most of the folks that come to the bar are folks that live on Davis Island and Harbor Island and on Bayshore, so they're from the area. We have a lot of folks that come on a daily basis. We see a lot of the same faces daily, and it's growing. The bar is only a little bit over 2 years old, and we're still building a reputation around town.
So it's like the Tampa water version of Cheers, right?
Absolutely, and everybody knows your name when you come up. The good thing about it, though, is it is dog friendly. Our bar, you can bring your dog along. As a matter of fact, Sail Pavilion won the Bring Fido Award 2013. Who knew, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So the award, what is the Bring Fido Award?
Well, Bring Fido is apparently it's a magazine for dog enthusiasts, and they go and they rank restaurants and establishments based on whether or not they're dog friendly. And the Sail Pavilion was named in the top 10 in the U.S. this year.
Oh wow!
So we were very ecstatic about it, because our canine friends are, they're just like us. They come and they can come get a dog biscuit and have a little water and have a good time out on the water.
Yeah, part of the family. They're part of the family.
Absolutely.
And speaking of family, you also have family events. I mean, you have the food trucks come out. Tell me about some of your events.
We do actually, and this coming this coming Friday, we have our monthly Brews and Bites event, which is a combination of a food truck rally and a beer fest. We bring 6 food trucks in from local vendors. We have some live entertainment that goes on, and we showcase some of our microbrews at our beer garden, which is on the other side of the bar. The original intent of that event was just kind of to test the waters of the food trucks. And what we have found, it is probably our largest event that we do on a regular basis. So we do it every month. Second Friday of the month is from 6 to 11. You're more than welcome to come out and taste all the different food trucks, and they vary from month to month. We've probably got a relationship with upwards of 40 or 50 food trucks, and we try and rotate them in to keep the variety going, and we rotate in our entertainment. So it's a great time for folks to come out and, once again, watch the sunset, have a little fun, see friends and family.
And discover Tampa treasure here.
And discover the Tampa treasures. So.
I am going to be coming out Friday, but I also have come out to the boat parade, the holiday boat parade, which is beautiful in December. But you have other events throughout the year, don't you?
We do, and actually it's funny you mentioned a boat parade, because we're going to be doing another boat parade in September for Labor Day in association with the Tampa Attractions Association. So it's going to be out here, and it's going to take place. It's going to end at our docks with the awards being given out here at the Sail Pavilion. So in addition to events like that, we have a full slate of things that we try and do on a monthly basis. One of the neat things that we're planning on doing this year, which we haven't done in the past, is we're going to do some special events around all the Lightning home games. So we're going to have some tailgate specials and that sort of thing for each of the Lightning home games. We're working on some things with some local vendors, so those folks that are going to the Lightning games can come by, have a drink, get a little food. We now have a food menu, so we serve your typical bar food, chips and hamburgers and hot dogs and things of that nature, with that menu to expand as we go along.
How exciting! And I tell you, this river walk is just beautiful, and there's so much going on. And of course, Gasparilla, Tampa. I hear there's a pirate contest coming up. Is that true?
Yes, we discovered that there is a Talk Like a Pirate Day. So in October, we're gonna celebrate the pirates that we are, and we're gonna have a costume contest, and we're gonna have some prizes to give out and that sort of thing. So stay tuned. If you visit our website, www.tampaconventioncenter.com, there's links to the Sail Pavilion's Facebook page. We encourage everybody to become friends on the Facebook page. We have probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 300 regulars that are part of the crew, which is a small little organization of folks that are Facebook fans of the Sail.
Oh, this is really, this is Tampa's backyard right here, and everyone should take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
But I've also heard, aside from the special events that you have going on, you could actually rent out this pavilion?
Yes, you can actually. It is part of our rental inventory. We actually do rent it out for special events. You can do it as a single standalone event. We've got a wedding planned for October, where they're doing the wedding out on the Riverwalk, and they're going to do a reception here at the bar. We also rent it out for our convention delegates. We've had a number of groups, including the RNC, this past summer, that actually rented the entire bar out for receptions. So the opportunities are limitless. We are implementing some games as we go along. We've got a bar manager who's brand new to the job and very enthusiastic about being in the Tampa market. And what better place to be than on the waterfront in a destination like Tampa.
It's beautiful and it's a lot of fun. We did come up here one day on the boat, and we parked, and they had like cornhole games out, and people were playing and kids were out. I mean, it's just great.
Yeah, it's weekends are really busy around here, even when the convention center is quote unquote closed because we don't have an event going on. The Sail Pavilion is always busy on a Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday, and it'll only get better. We're as I said, we're developing new things. This year we're going to show more NFL football games and show some college football games and things of that nature. So it gives the folks that are here more things to do and more reason to be down here.
Sure. And it's still fairly new, huh?
Absolutely. We're not 3 years old yet. The bar was opened in late 2010, I believe, and we're still developing as a bar, as a company. So we're always open to suggestion. We ask our regulars what they think, how they think about the specials we do and the things that we offer, and some of the best ideas have come from people who come here on a regular basis.
you know, seeing the award-winning Sail Pavilion now, is this what you envisioned when you opened this?
Actually, no. You know, when the bar was initially built and when they thought about it, it was really just an opportunity to put another venue in place for our convention goers. We really didn't think that it would take off and it would become part of the Riverwalk. I mean, a destination along Tampa's Riverwalk, and with all the development and all the things that are going on in downtown Tampa, it's exciting for us to be at the forefront, to be at the beginning of what is sure to be a renaissance in downtown Tampa, and this Riverwalk has unlimitless opportunities, and we're just happy to be a part of it and be an anchor. We also are in the initial stages of developing hopefully a long-term relationship with Red Bull. You know, we've hosted a couple of their events. We were the only North American city to host Red Bull Flugtag twice. So, you know, things are looking good for us with the river, and looking forward to taking full advantage of the natural resources that we have. We encourage everyone to come down. There's free parking. You know, when there's not a convention in town and there's no bus traffic on our front drive, the parking's free for anybody visiting the bar. So, you know, we encourage all of our locals to come down, not just the folks that live close by, but you know, all parts of Tampa, because, you know, you're not going to find a waterfront view anywhere else but downtown like this.
Yep. Well, thank you very much, and I look forward to beating you out here at the cornhole game and winning the pirate contest. Arr!